3 months ago, I was at Cape Canaveral and I had the privilege of seeing a rocket being launched. And the thing is, while it was being gradually delayed for various reasons, I was in search for a cup of coffee, and I was told at the cafe at NASA that the coffee machine was broken. There were 4 people there trying to fix it. And I thought to myself, you know, you guys can get someone to the moon, but you can't do a cup of coffee. It's a good thing they can get people to the moon, because it was 1970 that Apollo 13 was launched from Cape Canaveral. It was the 7th manned space mission that the US attempted. Its destination was the moon. And in the now well-known story, it suffered an explosion that crippled the spacecraft, and the 3 astronauts, they were stranded in space. And it was only as the ground crew worked tirelessly, didn't sleep behind the scenes, working problems as they arose, as new circumstances kept arising, they kept resolving issues, that the crew was able to be brought home against all odds. At Toongabbie Anglican Church, our vision is bringing, building and sending. And for some time now, we've been seeing a wonderful problem coming. It's a wonderful problem, you know. It's a problem that many churches would love themselves to have. And it's the problem of growth. This year we've sought to heighten awareness of our capacity problems, and all of our congregations are growing. We praise God for that, and particularly our 945 family congregation has really reached its capacity. And so this year we've been praying, we've had information nights. Earlier this year we formed a strategy group to spearhead our thinking as we try to work out some way of resolving this problem so that more people can come and be part of our church, more people can have a relationship with Jesus. It was clear early on that some kind of structural change would be necessary so that, humanly speaking, we can navigate through these issues. Whatever we do, it was pretty clear, it's been clear to us all the way through this year that it's going to involve some kind of work, some kind of inconvenience, some kind of sacrifice. And after many hours of thought, discussion and prayer, we're now in a position on behalf of a strategy group and the parish council to come to you with some ideas that we've got and to seek your feedback on 2 broad options that we've come up with. The first option is for us to establish a new late Saturday afternoon or early Saturday evening family congregation, a congregation that would have a full children's program. Part of a process that we're now entering into is to seek your feedback in working out some of the details. But just to help the concrete thinkers among us, it might be, for example, at 5 o'clock in the evening, followed by dinner. That's the first option. The second broad option is to restructure how we work our services on Sunday mornings so that we have and start a 3rd morning service as well as what we currently do. And so, for example, we could take our current 945 congregation and split it into, for example, a 915 congregation and a 1045 congregation, and to make that work, then have our 8 o'clock traditional congregation either earlier or still have it at 8 o'clock and have it down in the lower hall. That's the second option. Many hours, you know, have gone into distilling and researching many options we've thought about, we've prayed about into these 2. And each option will have its own challenges, but we're confident, and which is why we're bringing them to you now at this stage, that we can make either of those options work with your help. It's clear that at some stage we're going to need some work on our buildings as well. But at the moment our immediate issue is really trying to be driven by our local community that so desperately needs to hear about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ so that they can be forgiven. And what we need to do is to work out how almost immediately to increase our capacity so that more people can become part of what we're doing here at Toongabbie Anglican Church. So what we're doing is we're going to give everyone a couple of weeks to think and pray and reflect over these couple of options that we've brought to you. And then in the first 2 weeks of term 4, someone from either our strategy group or our staff is going to come to every single growth group across our church to talk more, to pray, and also to present a survey that we're asking every family to complete. Collating these surveys is really going to help us which way to go forward and which one of the variations to go down. You know, I think back to April 1970 when that Apollo 13 mission lifted off from NASA. There was a crippled spacecraft, and it was the people who were on the ground who were working without sleep, trying to work the problems as they came, thinking about those 3 astronauts who were lost, and their goal was to bring those astronauts home. Friends, for them no cost was too great, And it's that kind of thinking that we're going to need as we continue to try to navigate through these issues. Our community needs bringing to know about Jesus. May that drive us as we go through what are going to be exciting times at this church.